friends, how are you all? Hope all of you are fine. Hope all of you are doing well, and hope all of you are going through my videos and reading along with me. So let's move to the next chapter today. The Stick Family. It was lovely to wake up the next morning at Kiran Cottage and see the sun shining in at the windows and to hear the far off plash, plash, plash of the sea. It was wonderful to leap out of bed and rush to see how blue the sea was and how lovely Kiran Island looked at the entrance of the bay. I'm going for a swim before breakfast, said Julian, grabbing his trunks. Coming, Dick? Definitely, said Dick. Call the girls. We'll all go. So down they went, the four of them, with Tim galloping behind them, his tail wagging 19 to the dozen and his long pink tongue hanging out of his mouth. He went into the water with the others and swam all around them. They were all good swimmers, but Julian and George were the best. They put towels around themselves, rubbed their bodies dry, and pulled on jeans and jumpers. Then back to breakfast they went, as hungry as hunters. Annie noticed a boy in the back garden and stared in surprise. Who's that? She said. Oh, that's Edgar, Mrs. Stick's boy, said George. I don't like him. He's always sticking out his tongue and shouting rude words. So I'm turning the page. Edgar was singing when the others went in at the gate. Annie stopped to listen. George, Porgy, Pudding and Pie, sang Edgar, a silly look on his face. He seemed about 13 or 14, a stupid yet sly looking lad. George, Porgy, Pudding and Pie. George went red. He's always singing that, she said furiously. Just because I'm called George, I suppose he thinks he's clever. I can't stand him. Julian called out to Edgar, You shut up. You're not funny. You're just silly. Georgie, Podgy, began Edgar again, a silly smile on his wide red face. Julian made a step towards him, and he at once disappeared into the house. I can't stand much of him, said Julian in a decided voice. I'm amazed you do, George. It's a wonder you haven't slapped his face, stamped on his foot, bitten his ears off, and done a few other things. You used to be so fierce. Well, I'm still, really, said George. I feel fierce down inside me when I hear Edgar singing silly songs at me like that and calling me names. But you see, Mum really hasn't been well, and I know if I go to for Edgar, Mrs. Stick will leave, and poor Mum would have all to do all the housework, and she really isn't fit at present. So I just hold myself in and hope that Timmy will do the same. Good for you, said Julian admiringly, for he knew how hard it was for George to keep her temper at times. I think I'll just go up to Mum's room and see if she'd like breakfast in bed, said George. Hang on to Timothy a moment, will you? If Edgar turns up again, he might go for him. Julian hung on Timothy's collar. Timothy had growled when Edgar had been in the garden. Now he stood stock still, his nose twitching as if he were trying to trace a smell. Suddenly, a mangy looking dog appeared out of the kitchen door. It had a dirty white coat out of which patches seemed to have been bitten, and its tail was well between its legs. Woof, said Timothy joyfully and leapt at the dog. He pulled Jelen over, for he was a big dog, and the boy let go of the dog's collar. Timmy pounced excitedly on the other dog, who gave a scared whine and tried to go into the kitchen again. Timmy, come here, yelled Juliana. But Timmy didn't hear. He was busy trying to snap off the other dog's ears, or at least that's what he appeared to be doing. The dog yelped for help, and Mrs. Stick appeared at the kitchen door, a saucepan in her hand. Call off the dog, she screeched. She hit out at Timmy with the saucepan, but he dodged and it down hit her own dog instead, making it yelp all the more. Don't hit out with that, said Julian. You'll hurt the dogs. Timmy, Timmy. Edgar now appeared, looking very scared. He picked up a stone and seemed to be about to hurl it at Timmy. Annie shrieked. So I'll just end here. Please go to this video along with me, and I'll see you again tomorrow. So please keep reading along with me, and definitely you'll become fluent in English. Thank you.